Hi everyone from section 505. I'm here to give you a before the weekend, celebration and some quick announcements. So y'all, I made a PowerPoint for this quick talk and also a handout that I'm going to switch to in just a second. I want to celebrate your topics and your mediums. So let me find them real quick. Oh, there it is. I am so excited, y'all, for the topics and mediums you are using to write about those topics. I just want to celebrate several of them. I didn't finish all my highlighting, so I'm just going to go with it at this point. But gosh, I really want to focus on all of these different mediums. So just a few people doing academic essays, you can kind of see those. Lots of people like Miranda doing blogs or journal style essays. Brenda's doing an online essay. Here's another blog, Dara. An experimental journal. Jenna is doing something that's sort of going to require some experimentation at home, so I think she's going to document what happens in her journal, which is really cool. Y'all, John is doing a personal essay, and I thought I would just talk for a second about what's the difference between a personal essay and a blog. And gosh, it's just the document design, and that's the reason we're learning about Medium, y'all, is because you're looking at document design, and a document design then requires that you write a little bit differently to your audience. It's not an academic essay, so you're not going to have academic sentences that might feel stuffy and a little distanced. You know, some of your sentences will be more direct in your blog essay or in John's personal essay. And then the personal essay would just be in a regular word processing file, and the blogs would be more decorative, right? With maybe a color background and some different fonts and some images to decorate the top of the blog. So lots of different mediums. Josiah is doing an informative website. Kennedy's doing a brochure and an accompanying essay. So you all, if you decide to do a brochure, or like Kip wants to do a PowerPoint, make sure that you have an accompanying piece of writing, because the requirements say 1,000 words, which is approximately 4 pages double spaced in MLA format. That's how long 1,000 words is if you're typing out a regular academic essay. But if you're doing a brochure and a PowerPoint, those mediums don't support 4,000 words. You can't type 1,000, unless you all want to write 4,000, but I don't think you do. PowerPoints don't support 1,000 words, and neither do brochures. So you have to have an accompanying piece. You notice Kip has said he's going to have a journal hybrid. So he'll have a journal that kind of goes through about his topic on tattoos. Mason's doing a scientific article, a report on the RMNP reservation system, which I didn't like when it first came out, but Matt is now convincing me that it's useful. A fitness blog from Monique, another blog on how children grow up too fast in the United States. That is a for sure thing, but Olivia is going to explore how that happens, why that happens. A hemp and cannabis blog, lots of you doing blogs. So let's just talk for a second about blogs. There are so many of you doing blogs. When you write your essay 3, it's not really an essay unless you're doing an academic essay. So the blog should mimic, your blog should mimic what other blogs look like. We looked at 2 blogs during this assignment. They usually have a colored background. You can use some different font. You can use bold-faced headers to talk about your topic in sections. You should have an image. You should put your name at the top with the time and the date. It should not look like an MLA essay when you submit it if you're doing a blog. If you're doing a website, you all, you're using probably a website template or a website generator. I heard this week from somebody in class that the Weebly website that I've been talking about a lot is now charging, and I think that change just went into effect this week or maybe the end of last week. So if you already have a website template set up in Weebly, you're probably okay. But if you're trying to start that this weekend, you might want to switch to Wix. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. You might want to switch to Wix or Site123. You see down here, I'm going to highlight in gray where I give you some different website template options, because Weebly is now charging like a $4 and something fee to use the template. So I did look at Wix. It seems a little bit more challenging than Weebly. I tried it out, and then I tried Site123, and it reminded me very much of Weebly. Very intuitive, easy to paste in my text, easy to upload images. So I recommend one of these two websites if you haven't set up your Weebly website yet. I know there's only a couple doing websites, but I just want to mention this in case you may be changing your mind between now and when the essay 3 is due on Sunday by the end of the day. Again, thank you all for sharing those topics and those mediums and defining your rhetorical situation in your proposals this week. I did return your proposals through the grade book, so you might want to check to see what my feedback was to you as you're working on Essay 3 to submit it by Sunday. And let's talk for a second. I'm not really following my order of points here, but you can kind of see that I want to celebrate the topics in Medium, and I wanted to talk about the Weebly website. But I want to talk for just a second about the rhetorical situation. You all, I don't know if you've thought about this, but I want to make this connection for you. Essay number 1, which some of you have submitted as a revised essay. We did that assignment for a very specific reason, because it asked you to analyze a writer's rhetorical situation. So you analyzed the rhetorical situation or use of pathos or ethos or logos or whatever. You might have looked at purpose, you might have looked at audience. We hadn't talked about all the parts of the rhetorical situation at that point, but you did analyze another writer's rhetorical situation, because now you're being asked for the last 2 assignments to be the writer using the rhetorical situation. So I hope you see that connection, that we analyzed first to learn about the rhetorical situation, then you started using the rhetorical situation, and each time we had an assignment, I've added in a little bit more about the rhetorical situation so you could practice with it. Essay 4 will take us to the penultimate experience with the rhetorical situation, where you do a multimodal essay. So your work with Medium in Essay 3 is really, really important, because you're learning about document design and how that can affect your writing. Your writing for Essay 3 should be directed to your audience, to achieve your purpose, to match up with the expectations readers have for your medium. And then let's talk about Medium very, very quickly, you all. You'll notice that I'm again going to highlight where I am in my PowerPoint. I have a quote that I found in the textbook. If you have edition 8, it's on 402. If you have edition 9, it's on 403 and 404. And I've kind of shown you how I use brackets and ellipsis marks inside of this quote, so you can pause and look at what I've done here too if you haven't reviewed brackets and ellipsis marks for a while when you're quoting. But y'all, I like this line from the textbook. It reminds us that when you work on an essay where Medium is something that you are including in your writing, that Medium causes potential time sinks. Here's the rest of the quote. They'll consume all the hours you're willing to spend on them and more. Why? Because maybe you're thinking, Beth, how can you make me write a blog? I don't know how to write a blog. I don't know how to design a blog, is maybe more of your complaint. And so what I want you to know is I don't want you to become an expert on document design. I want you to mimic the blog the best that you can. I want you to mimic the brochure the best that you can. Microsoft Word does have templates for brochures and for blogs, quite frankly. I think Google Doc does as well, maybe has fewer templates. But I'm not expecting you to become a word processing program expert. Mimic. Try to make your piece look as accurate as a real brochure or a real blog. The folks doing the websites, you have those website generators or those, template tools that you can use like Wix and Site123. Spend more time on your writing. Make sure your sentences, your tone, your diction matches the medium. And that's what I care about more. So don't fall into the time sink. Don't spend all weekend trying to make something look exactly like a blog. Just mimic. It's not hard to put a background color. It's not super challenging to change your change your font, to boldface certain parts of the font for section headings, to add an image. And if you need any help, please email. I am going to be reading revisions of Essay 1 over the weekend, so I'll pop into email to see if people have questions. So I hope you all are excited about Essay 3. I'm super excited about Essay 3, you all. I like reading Essay 3 and Essay 4 a lot more than Essay 1 and Essay 2. Just because you have control of the rhetorical situation, and it's so exciting to see what you will create and see what you will write, and I'm very pumped to see what you submit on Sunday. Have a great weekend, y'all, and I will see you early next week when we start Module 11. Talk to you later.